Mic'd up.
Welcome everybody to the Warrior Companion podcast on Mic'd Up. I'm your host, John Rager, PJ Mic'd Up broadcaster, and joined by Jack Bodolowski, also known as Doc Bodo, who's the founder of Warrior Companion, which provides funds for the pet health care for service dogs of disabled military veterans. This episode is brought to you by the Animal Hospital, Sullivan County, New York, where pets are family. Also brought to you by the home of Warrior Companion Golf Tournament, the Sullivan County Golf Club, and now our latest sponsor, To the Rescue Pet Care. Our guest today is Tommy Habeeb, a veteran television host, producer, and media personality, best known as the original face of the hit series Cheaters. For more than 2 decades, Tommy has built a national following through his work on reality TV, sports, entertainment, and his more recent rescue-focused series, To the Rescue. He's a storyteller, a creator, a familiar voice in American pop culture. As you can see in the background, it looks like he plays guitar and he's got some golf clubs. We're excited to have him on the Warrior Companion podcast. Welcome, Tommy.
Can you just travel around with me and do all my openings when I walk into a restaurant or something? You just come in and lay it all out?
We could do that. And then what I'll do is I'll also add at the end of that, separate checks, everybody.
I was watching a movie the other day, and they had these guys. They were jousting, right, in the old days, and the Knights of the Round Table, and each one of them had an introduction everywhere they went. They had this guy that just would introduce them.
Oh man, that's fun.
We should all have that when we walk in. People need to know who Jack is when he walks into a restaurant.
That'd be great, right?
But they got to have a voice like you. You got to just like lead everybody into life. That would be a fascinating way to do it. I remember I was doing a deal with Don King, the infamous Don King, and he had that everywhere he went. He walked around with American flags and cameras and a barker that would tell you. The barker would tell you, Don King, the famous Don King, is coming in. And boy, he's a character, man. He came in just carrying on. Brought back memories.
We have here is in Warrior Companion, or the K9 companions of our disabled military vets. But so the person on this podcast I just introduced, Jack Bodolowski, he may need a barker when he walks into a restaurant, Tommy, because to tell him who he not is. This is not Santa Claus. He's at the North Pole making your toys right now. But anyway, hey, Jack Bodolowski, affectionately known as Doc Bodo, tell us a little bit about Warrior Companion.
So Warrior Companion was founded because of Gary Sinise, actually. Had a great ability to go and hang out with Gary at one of his events that he does for veterans. He goes around the country and he plays this with Lieutenant Dan band, and he visits mostly disabled veterans in the hospital and takes care of, he does countless stuff for disabled veterans. And I was pretty much invited to come follow him around. And I went to BAMSI Medical Center, which is in San Antonio, as a special guest and a combat medic. And I followed him around from room to room, meeting different veterans that were disabled from the current wars that we were in, Iraq and Afghanistan. And the very last room is where Warrior Companion was founded. Was a disabled veteran, triple amputee, had 3 fingers on one hand left, and he had a service animal in there. And I was watching the service animal, and Gary is with the veteran, talking to the veteran. The dog was with the wife and his children, comforting them. And as soon as Gary transferred his energy to the family, I watched that dog weave in between all the people in there, all the media and the photographers and the videographers, about 20, 30 people in a small room. And that dog just meandered over to the veteran and slid his head up underneath those 3 fingers. And that's where Warrior Companion was born. I knew it was not the veteran I had to take care of as much as I did the animals that support these veterans being disabled, and make sure they're 100% battle ready to take care of those veterans' needs. And only way we can do that is to keep our veteran service animals healthy and on the ready 24/7. So that's the story behind Warrior Companion and being a combat medic. I made a promise when I became a medic that I would, protect and preserve our fighting force in combat and in peacetime. And even though I'm not in the military anymore, I still want to make sure that I keep paying it forward and using my ability, being in the veterinarian industry for the last 35 years and knowing how expensive pet care is and why it's so important that we make sure these animals are healthy for our veterans and our service animals.
Well, thank you, Jack, and especially thank you for your service out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Appreciate
that's those stories. The sad part is those stories about these vets that are coming home and disabled and blown up and shot up, and the physical damage is powerful, but we can't even come close to talking about the psychological damage.
Exactly.
And that's where so much these dogs do come in handy when it comes to physical, because they make them. These dogs can be trained to do about anything, but what they can do
Tommy,
mentally.
I'm sitting here looking at your website right now. It's a fantastic website, rescuepetcare.com. To the Rescue Pet Care, I believe, is the name of your organization, and it's really interesting. Even though you come from a background and all kinds of stuff, when I read your bio, I'll tell you what, it's pretty impressive all the things you've done. You're like me. I'm a PJ golf professional, so I'm in the golf business. But to be successful, you have to have 7 jobs at one time. Okay, you have to do it. You have to be able to do everything possible that you can possibly do if somebody asks you. And from television producer to actor to this that, you'd had like a couple of golf videos out there. I thought that were pretty entertaining. But tell us a little bit about To the Rescue Pet Care and what
Yeah.
you're doing.
No, listen, I dreamed about playing golf. I just realized, and I was always a really good golfer as a kid, but I realized when I tried to go to a D1 school that those guys can really play golf.
Oh, yes,
And
they can. Yes.
it got me, it straightened me out quick on what I was going to do. So I went back to the theater department and said, yeah, I can't compete, but I do have had some wonderful opportunities to play in the pro-ams and on the celebrity golf tour, and uh, got to actually feel what it's like to walk down 18 with thousands of people, and but not feel the pressure that those guys are feeling.
Right.
Just kind of having fun. Uh, yeah. So you know, Jack walked the walk. He did. He served in the military. He's seen it firsthand, the damage and the difficulty veterans have. I didn't get the opportunity to serve. There was an award
You're
going
doing that
on.
now, Tom.
Huh?
You're doing that now.
Well, I'm trying. I watched my brother go through it. My dad was in World War II and in the Air Force, and um, I've always tried to do everything I could throughout my career. Um, but I did have a calling, and it kind of stuck with me. I've always loved animals, and 30 years ago, I got the call to host the SPCA telethons with Betty White, and Betty really changed my life. We got to stay in touch, and she used to drag me out to shelters and do rescues, and I fell in love with what these animals do for us. I always knew, because I always grew up with animals and dogs, but you take it for granted. You don't realize what they really do for you till you get a little older, till you have kids of your own, and then you
Especially when
go.
you start to slow down a little bit.
That's right.
You know.
And I was shooting a TV show with Mariel Hemingway for Time Magazine on the solutions to teen suicide. And this carries over to the military guys, right? But I saw firsthand, interviewing hundreds of children from school shootings, and they didn't realize what they were all saying, but there was a through line that when they had a dog in the house, it helped them get through those toughest hours. And I've seen it firsthand when a veteran has a dog next to him. I've seen the difference it makes. I know how many veterans commit suicide every day. I see it firsthand. With the foundation, did 22 push-ups, right, on the steps of Congress and on legislator steps all across the country, right? I've seen what our veterans go through physically, but mostly mentally. And there's no prouder moment than when we can pair up a dog and I can feature them on national television, because I know millions of people are going to see the difference in what these animals do for us. And when you see them pair up and you talk to a veteran and you see the tears in their eyes when they first walk into a grocery store that they haven't been in 5 years,
Yep.
no, it's life changing. And so I didn't know this path I was going to be on 30 years ago when Betty first took me to a shelter. But I know now, and I've taught my parents taught my kids. They've been doing rescues since they were born, and as many people as I can, I take to go do transports. We do these big transports with Wings of Rescue. We'll load up 300-400 dogs on these airplanes, in the middle of the night as we're sending them off. They were literally on death's bed the day before, and now they're getting on a plane flying up north where they're going to get adopted and go with a wonderful family. And when that plane lands and we're taxiing around and you see hundreds of people lined up along the fence with their kids cheering because they
Right.
know they're going to get their new adopted family member. Oh my,
Wow.
it just, everybody's crying and everybody's singing. And it's a pretty special place. And we I brought out, he's a 7-time world champion, 7-time national champion boxer. He's about to fight for the undisputed middleweight championship of the world belt. Big, tough dude, toughest guy you've ever seen. He gets in that ring and he's got, I think, 17 knockouts. He's just, I think he's 17-0, 15 knockouts, 17-0. And I brought him out. I said, you got to come. And it was, 2 a.m. He brought his little 3-year-old out there. And I said, she's 3. How, he goes, she's got experience. I mean, it was one of the most powerful moments as I'm watching tears just come down his eyes, and said, I'm blessed just to be able to have my daughter be able to come be a part of this as we're loading these puppies on these planes. Because you can see it in the dog's eyes. They know. And it's a special thing.
They don't lie.
They don't lie. They
They
can't
don't
lie.
lie.
They're the purest thing to God we got, what I
That's
mean?
right.
Because it's just we are everything to them. And to us, we don't realize it. We take them for granted too much.
And
They're
and to
part
and
of
to
us.
a veteran, that's all a veteran has, because that dog is going to support him no matter how messed up he is or she is.
Dude,
Um,
just like these teenagers, right? They get on their social media and they're getting pounded, but the dog doesn't care if you have pimples on your face, or if you wear thick horn rimmed glasses and you're the nerd in the class. While everybody's beating you up, that dog's loving
Just
on you.
loving on you. Yep. It's
And
great.
there's no better thing. So, part of what we do, and when I started the TV show, I started looking at verticals I could do, right, to keep helping. What can we do? What does this pet industry look like? And I settled in on, I saw pet insurance. I saw pet insurance going through the roof.
And
And
right now, people cannot afford to have an animal without pet insurance.
you
I've
can't.
I've been beating this drum, Tommy, for 10 years that this was coming.
Yeah.
And when you came to me, and when I saw that you came out with the pet insurance, and you and I've met before, I was like,
Okay.
I have to get with him because it's so important that we get the word out there because families cannot afford to keep their animals healthy in their house.
Yeah. And then there's the veterans that can't, we train up these dogs, and then these veterans can't afford to keep the dog.
They can't feed them half the time.
No. So that's part of what's so important for us is when we sell policies, it allows us to give policies away. And it's so beautiful to see what's happening in the country today because we're the only front facing mission based pet insurance company in America. And it's showing and
And
it's being
I'm proud
proven.
of you, Tom, because
Mark,
remember, I don't know if you remember when we first met, we met up in your office. And you
yep,
told me that you were not ready to help me with anything because you weren't sure what direction you were going in. And then as soon as you knew what direction you were going in, that you would help Warrior Companion out. And here we are.
I love it.
It's
I love
beautiful.
it. And the work you're doing, you just keep doing it and you keep helping these guys and you keep helping us spread the word, right? Because
Absolutely.
these veterans need to know they have a place to go.
Exactly.
And we only just started this company, and we're starting to build it up where we can now start giving policies away. And it's very exciting for us to be able to
And
do more and more of that.
Tom, why don't we touch a little bit on how you're going to do that? It's going to be a reimbursement program, right? Because
It
the
is.
health insurance industry changed for pets in the last 18 months. So like I used to provide the pet insurance for my veterans and I can't do that anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise funds and then help with the reimbursement program through Tommy to get these dogs covered with pet insurance so that way they can go to any veterinarian they want to do. And
That's right.
why and not only when you buy pet insurance, it's so important that you do preventative care and you do catastrophe care. You got to do both of them together because they both the amount of money that you're saving at the end of the year, it's I think I did the numbers is like $6,800 for a healthy pet to keep them healthy over the course of their lifetime.
That's right.
People
No,
don't
it's
have
very, very
6,800.
expensive and it's hard to, it's just so difficult on people. And are you going to put up your QR code, Jack, so they
I
see
am.
where to go?
Yep.
And it's so important. One of the things I'm really proud of is there's one of the biggest uh, group insurance broker group in the country. They're called Marsh McLennan. And Marsh said, listen, Tommy, we love what you're doing. I think they represent like 300,000 companies across the country. They said, we love what you're doing. We want you to be our pet insurance company as part of our benefits that we offer to all these companies. We're just going to rep you. And so I had my first call with about 40 of the reps out of Florida. And it's exciting that they see how important these missions are, right?
Thank
And
God.
we've been signing up companies just to add it on as a benefit, right? Because what they're finding out is that, so many employees think the company don't care, but so many companies, the most important thing in a business is retention of employees. We got to keep people happy. How do we do it? Well, when you put together programs that are important for the employee, right? That's how you keep them. You show the employer cares a little bit. And so that's what I really have the positive notes I've been seeing about our insurance is um, that they see the good we're doing and our volunteer program. If when you become a member, you become a part of our family. And we have meet and greets around the country for all our VIP, all our members. And they can come out, to rescues, they can come out and meet. When I'm traveling, I just invite everybody, come out and let's meet some puppy dogs. Meet me. I'll usually bring one or two celebrities with me. Uh, um, and we'll have we do lots of giveaways,
We're
right?
gonna get Tommy here next year for my golf tournament and see how well he
Yes,
plays.
that's right. No,
Oh,
please.
you would absolutely have a hoot at this place. I mean, obviously a golf course that Bill Murray owns and Jason Kelsey from football and the famous golf writer Tom Coyne. I had the pleasure of being up there at the Sullivan County Golf Club in Liberty, New York,
Oh
a
my
weekend
gosh.
or two ago, and it was really fun. It's a wilderness golf course, as Jack calls it. It's 9 holes, but it's got a great history. It's 100 years old. There's all kinds of stories about it, and it was a dying golf course that was going to disappear. And Tom Coyne brought it back with Bill Murray and Jason Kelsey, and my goodness, and
Wow.
we had a very successful tournament. You know, we decided to have a tournament there and sold it out and did some good. So,
I'm so
uh,
proud of you
We
guys. That's
we
just
had we
inspiring.
had service animals there, and two of them, which are going to here shortly, we're going to get to the rescue pet insurance for them.
yeah,
We raised enough money so we can do that.
I love that.
So
No, so
you'll be
good.
covering them here shortly.
No, these events are so important in bringing awareness. We're working on a program. I can't really talk too much about it, but
That's fine.
I brought back the telethon a couple years ago, and I know Betty was up there smiling because it was a big, big success. And now this new, I'm doing one that we're launching it in November of 2027, and it's going to be worldwide. Uh, and it's about veterans and puppy dogs. And
Love it.
yeah.
we're working with the American Legion, and it's going to be pretty special. But I can't wait to get you guys involved in this one.
I'd be
Hey, Tommy,
delighted.
let's shift gears here a little bit. Great job on describing, the pet healthcare insurance. And Jack, thank you for the insights that you give with the dogs. I mean, this is the reason we do the podcast, PAWD cast, because it is about the dogs. It's about the veterans. It's about life and love and fun. Let's have some fun, Tommy. I'm looking in the background right now. You've got stuff all over the walls. You got some golf clubs in there. This is an organic podcast here. Grab the phone and take us for a quick tour. You got to have a good story or two about some of the stuff that you've got
Maybe,
in your man cave there.
maybe. Let's see. So, um, in our offices here in Dallas, it's a lot of fun. We do a lot of stuff. So, currently we're producing our show. There it is, To the Rescue. And this is this kind of a wall of fame, kind of fun stuff. Here's a TV series, and then turned into a videotape series you could buy at Walmart stores. It was training videos for kids. Spud Webb is on the cover of this one.
Oh, Spud, isn't he like 5'5" and can dunk a basketball?
5'7" NBA
Yeah.
slam dunk champion, Spud.
Yeah.
Here's a show I did called The Big Big Show with Andrew Dice Clay. If you guys are from New York, you know
Oh,
Andrew.
hey,
Jack and Jill went up the hill. I've
that's
heard of
right.
Andrew
Yeah, and
Dice
Tom
Clay.
Hickory,
Green.
hickory
I'll
dock.
cut it off at that.
We had a really fun show there. Here's my show, Cheaters. Obviously, I was in the middle of action on Cheaters,
And you
and
survived that one, Tom.
yeah. Here's a show I did hosted called Eye for an Eye, and then a race car show I did here. Now this one, I'm driving the 1916 Indianapolis 500 winner. This car,
Oh, that's so cool.
it was unbelievable. This car was just spectacular, and then here's something I'm really pretty honored for. I was getting knighted in Italy.
Wow.
I don't know if y'all can see that.
Yeah,
Well, we saw it on the side there, the big sword hanging on the wall there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there it
that's
is.
it. Look at that. Wow.
Y'all know who Tony Dorsett is?
absolutely.
Well, I heard I heard you're supposed to pronounce it. It used to be pronounced Dorset, but if you watch some of the old football reels from his days, I think at the University of Pittsburgh or whatever, it was Tony
Yep.
Dorsett. But now it's
Yeah.
Tony Dorsett. Okay.
Well,
Yeah,
we're
I've
in
heard of him.
Texas, so we talk a
Yeah.
little funny here. One of my TV shows, I did a lot of sports television. Here's Tony and I were riding motorcycles, uh, as part of our interview, and he's a lifelong friend of mine, and so many pals. When I was in L.A. and they would come up to Thousand Oaks, I'd always get a call from Harvey Martin and Too Tall Jones, and they'd be going, Tommy. Well, I can't really. I worked with Hugh Hefner a lot, so they all wanted to come to the Playboy Mansion.
Of course.
And then here's one of my favorite things
He
I
was a
like to
veteran
do
too.
is play golf. I got my golf clubs. Here's one of my old tour
And
bags.
and Tommy and
All
I
right,
both
you
have
get
a
your
mutual
name on the
friend.
golf bag. There used to be in a time, I remember when I first turned pro, only pros could have their name on a golf bag or you'd lose your amateur status, if you were an amateur. Nowadays, I think since the advent of Caddyshack, I think from that point on, everybody could have their name on their bag. I think
Yeah.
that's what did it. But you know what? That's really cool to have a bag with your name on it.
Well,
You know,
I'd play in a lot of these. I got invited to play in the Bing Crosby and the Hope and
oh
all
my
these
goodness.
tournaments, and so you get a lot of cool perks. Like one of my I'm kind of the ambassador for Club Champions, the
Oh
club
yeah, that's the
fitters,
club
and
fitting people, right?
so they send
Yeah.
me a lot of golf clubs, Ping and
Oh,
PXGs, and I did a whole series for Tour Edge. I don't even know if you ever heard of them.
absolutely. No, they're a big time company. Tour Edge, yeah.
Yeah, and let's see what else. There's all kinds of stuff. I'll give you a little tour of my studios. Oh, here's one of my race car shows called Speed Zone. And
Wow.
I don't know if any of your fans, any of your people that watch your show, watch NASCAR, but Kyle Busch passed
Yeah,
away
yeah.
about 3, 4 weeks ago. And I did the first interview with Kyle Busch when he was 19 years old, just coming up. He was racing in the ASA series, and right before he went into NASCAR. Um, and so they're breaking that old video out because it was 30 years ago for me, and so I can send it to his family. So it was pretty special. But I'm gonna give you a little tour of my studio.
All
This
right.
is kind of our producer's side of our facility. Uh, we're foosball players here, so
Well, it's important. You gotta have to have foosball. Do you like eat M&Ms without the yellow ones in it or something? Or is that
yeah,
that's what
of
they're telling?
course. So here's one of our little podcast studios here.
Oh, beautiful.
I got to work on that.
Of course, we have to have a bar and everywhere we go. All right, I'm gonna give you a little fun history. This is an old projector. Can you see it?
Yep.
Yeah.
This is an old projector from the 50s, and it came out of Grauman's Chinese Theater in
Wow.
Hollywood. And it was the kind of projector that if you look down here, that it had arc. This was fire that had to an arc, like an arc welder,
Right.
Yeah.
through
Yeah.
such a powerful light. It's the only thing that could project up on that projection screen. But
Wow.
film is so flammable. It was crazy putting these two things together.
That's
And it
amazing.
worked.
But this is a bad to the bone one, and then this is an arc spotlight from the 50s. This came out of the Statler Hotel, which I helped redesign uh, in Market in Dallas, Texas. But this thing threw light on Tony Bennett, Frank Sinatra, Elvis. This baby lit up lots of stars. And then what was wild, when we had the grand opening, I brought Tony Bennett back for the second grand opening of the Statler, and I got to open for him back in
I I stayed at
2018.
the Michael Jackson suite when I was there.
There we go, baby. Yep.
Yeah.
There's
At
another one of our studios.
I
I
think the
got more
shower was
golf
bigger
clubs
than the
here.
room. Yep.
See, I got golf clubs in every room wherever I'm
And a
filming,
guitar.
and a guitar. Yeah, this one's signed by the great John Anderson. You know John
Oh yeah,
Anderson,
sure.
just a swing in.
Hmm.
And here's one of my old chairs from Cheaters.
All right.
But
Fantastic.
yeah, a lot of fun fun rooms. We do a lot of production here. We've got multiple studios here. Here's the control room. We got a bunch of edit suites, and this is our post production back here. And so I think we've got 7 edit suites in here and four studios. So in that one studio, we since To the Rescue is syndicated, that means it's on different TV stations in every market, 210 markets. So I'll go and I can satellite feed and do 4 or 5 morning shows in one day, as we're promoting our different shows all over the world. That's about it.
Jack, we have a podcast, but actually what's happened is a walk through TV and film history and memorabilia is just broken out here on the
That's
Warrior
right.
Companion podcast. This is most enjoyable. This is something.
There we go. Sorry to give you all that craziness, but
No, it's good.
Actually, it was good. We're again mic'd up. We're organic. You can do it anywhere, anytime. And you know what? I know it wasn't an episode of the Blair Witch Project. Yeah, it wasn't shaking that bad. We could, no one's going in convulsions right now. It was fine. It was a great walkthrough of that. And
my head will spin in just a minute. If you,
Tommy, we really appreciate your time talking about any final words again about your healthcare insurance company for pets. Anything that we need to know about for our listeners that can help track it down and get involved?
Yeah, listen. The most important thing is that we take care of our kids. We take care of our veterans that took care of us, and we take care of these puppy dogs that take care of us because we don't realize it. We take them for granted every day. And you got to make sure when you come home, they didn't know when you're coming home. And so don't just walk by them and push them out of the way and go, I got to put my groceries down or whatever you're doing. Take a second and just look in their eyes and let them know you care, because later that day, that night, the next day, you're going to be having a tough time. And because we all have our own crosses we have to bear.
Yep.
And these little guys help us get through those times. And we don't even realize it. When they come and just put their head on your lap or give you a lick, give you something else to think about instead of those problems we're having. It's just so important to not to forget them. And so that's another reason too, don't be surprised. And when your dog gets sick or you got to take him in for his meds, or, it's really important to think about preventative and just come get a quote. It's rescuepetcare.com and see the work we do. You can learn about the mission. We're trying to change as many lives as we can, and also help you from getting surprised with a big vet bill. One of my very good friends has 2 little pups, and he's my friend. But does he have my pet insurance? No. But he called me up at 2 a.m. He goes, his dog, Drake is his dog's name, which is funny, jumped off the couch, broke his leg. He goes, we had to rush him to the hospital. He said, well, we got to do this and this and this surgery and all, and it's going to take 2 days here in the hospital, $8,000. And he called me and said, how quick can I get your insurance? I said, well, dude, what are you talking about?
You got to have at least 30 days or longer.
Don't wait for the surprise.
Yeah.
Just get the protection. It's so important.
It takes the anxiety out of going to the veterinarian, because if you know that you can go there and do whatever your animal needs to do, whatever that veterinarian needs to do to make your pet healthy and live longer for you, it just takes that anxiety out of wondering how you're going to pay for it or feed your kids.
No, Jack, you're exactly right. And what's beauty of what comes with our plan is you get televet. So if you're nervous, you don't have to rush to the hospital. Call the vet 24/7. You can call the vet, talk to them about it. he'll help you through those scary times, because we've all had them. If you have a pet, you go, what do we do? What do we do when we're Googling what to do?
Mhm.
Don't Google,
And
call a
don't
real
trust Google.
vet. No. And then, the other special things, when you get our service, you get a tracking collar, GPS free tracking collar. We give you pet discount cards. We've got a pet warranty. If your dog or cat scratches, tears up your couch, you get up to $1,500 back annually. It'll cost, you're saving way more than you are paying for your plan. And so it's just really, it's important, not only for your own pup or cat, but also for all the people that it helps take care of.
Yep.
That's it. That's all we
That's
got.
why I love you, Tommy.
I
Well,
love you guys. Thank you so much, Jack. You
well,
warm my
too,
heart.
brother.
we appreciate you, Tommy, coming on. So, well, our listeners out there and watchers, there you have it. You've been watching our Warrior Companion podcast on behalf of the Animal Hospital, Sullivan County, the Sullivan County Golf Club, home of the Warrior Companion Golf Tournament, and now to the rescue pet healthcare uh, for Jack Bodolowski, and for someone now I know is an Italian knight, Sir Tommy Habeeb. My name is John Rager, Mike That Podcaster. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.